Shalom. All praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kodash. And double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone, who taught me this truth, as well as men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seed line of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, beginning with the 144,000 prophets, and Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, willing. This lesson is edifying and informative. My name is Kwanawath, and this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. In the news, from the RT, U.S. planning new thermonuclear bomb production. B-6113 airdropped munitions are expected to be in full production later this year. And this is another example of Joel, the 3rd chapter, the 10th verse, whereby a nation is beating its plowshares into swords and its pruning hooks into spears. That is to say, taking its economic wealth and using it towards the research, development, enhancements, and modifications of weapons of mass destruction, in particular ICBM nuclear missiles like the B-6113, which, according to Google AI Overview, is a new U.S. gravity bomb, not a life extension program, LEP, the B-6112, as initially planned. It is being developed, stand corrected, for deployment on the B-21 radar, not the F-35. The B-6113 is intended to replace a B-83-1, which has faced resistance to its retirement. The Federation of American Scientists has described the B-6113 as a political bomb. The new bomb is similar to the B-6112, but with a higher yield compared to the B-61-7. It's a new gravity bomb similar to the B-6112, but with a higher yield. Only a small number of B-6113s are planned to be produced, but not increasing the overall number of the new B-61 bomb. The B-61 nuclear bomb. The B-61 is a thermonuclear gravity bomb that's been in service for over 50 years and is the oldest weapon in the U.S. nuclear stockpile. First deployed in 1968, the B-61 has 9 versions with yields ranging from 0.3 to 300 kilotons. The B-61 is 13.3 inches in diameter, 141 inches long, and weighs around 700 pounds. It can be carried by various aircrafts, including the B-52, B-2A, and F-16. Image of this bomb can be seen here. This is what a B-61 looks like. And so they plan on producing more of these bombs later this year. The U.S. is planning to launch the first production of its newest thermonuclear gravity bomb. And by the way, what is a thermonuclear gravity bomb? A thermonuclear gravity bomb is a type of nuclear weapon, specifically a thermonuclear weapon, also known as a hydrogen bomb, designed to be dropped from aircraft or delivered by missiles. These bombs utilize a two-stage nuclear weapon design, right, known as fusion and fission, meaning they have a fission stage that triggers a thermonuclear reaction, resulting in a significant larger explosion. And when we look at a nuclear bomb's anatomy, we can see that you have two stages, a fission stage and a fusion stage. The first stage is the primary stage, which is the fission bomb, whereby the second stage is the fusion. Real simple, basic example, right? Variant next month, according to the country's nuclear security agency. The B-6113 will be a modification using B-61 warheads, which hit full production in 1968, modernized with newer electrons and control features like a tail kit. What is a tail kit? A nuclear bomb tail kit, also known as a tail kit assembly TKA or tail kit, is a component of a nuclear weapon, specifically designed to guide the weapon to its target with increased accuracy. It's essentially a guidance system attached to the rear of the nuclear bomb, allowing it to be steered during its flight. And here we have examples of tail kits. As you can see, you have a tail kit, which are designed to maneuver or guide the weapon to its target with precision, with increased precision, increased accuracy, right? During its flight. The TKA enables the nuclear bomb to deviate from a ballistic trajectory, allowing for more precise targeting, which is something that is used on hypersonic nuclear missiles as well. By guiding the bomb to its target, the TKA significantly increases the accuracy of the weapon's delivery. So these B-6113 bombs will be modernized with tail kits to increase their accuracy and effectiveness, right? Reading on, it says effectively turning it into a guided munition. The warhead's maximum yield is around 360 kilotons, 24 times that of the bomb dropped by the U.S. on Hiroshima, according to Fox News. The NNSA anticipates achieving the first production unit for the B-61 Mod 13 later this month, almost a full year ahead of schedule. National Nuclear Security Administration (NNSA) acting head Teresa Robbins told Congress on Wednesday. Full-scale production is expected later in the 2025 financial year, she said. The bomb strengthens deterrence and assurance by providing the president with additional options against certain hardened and large area military targets, she added. In January, Washington began deploying the earlier variant of the bomb, the B-61-12, at U.S. bases in Europe. Earlier this year, the U.S. President Donald Trump named nuclear weapons as the greatest existential threat, if I pronounce that correctly, to mankind, or existential threat to mankind. In March, the U.S. president called for nuclear powers to abandon their nuclear weapons. It would be great if we could all denuclearize because the power of nuclear weapons is crazy. He told reporters, I would very much like to start those talks, and according to biblical prophecy, these nuclear bombs will be used to destroy America, Babylon the Great, according to biblical prophecy. Because these are the weapons of the Lord's indignation, right? During his first presidential term, Trump unilaterally withdrew the U.S. from the landmark 1987 Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, citing Russian non-compliance. Moscow has condemned the withdrawal and denied the accusations. In 2024, after Trump's predecessor Joe Biden allowed Ukraine to use U.S. missiles and long-range cross-border strikes on Russia, Moscow revised its nuclear doctrine and lowered its acceptable threshold for the use of nuclear weapons. Under the new doctrine, any attack on Russia by a non-nuclear armed state backed by a nuclear one will be treated as a direct attack by both, allowing Moscow to retaliate with nukes. And this concludes the article. So, the U.S. is getting ready to modernize and enhance and increase the production of this particular thermonuclear gravity bomb variant known as the B-6113. All right? And this is another beautiful example of Joel, the 3rd chapter, the 9th and 10th verse, because these nations are preparing for war. Because according to Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, the 8th verse, we are in a season of war. Hence, nations are preparing for war. Right? So again, this is the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, amongst the heathen nations. Prepare war. Why? Because, again, according to Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, we are in the season of war, pursuant to the 8th verse of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. And not just any kind of war, but the third world's woe, which cometh quickly, according to Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. A war that will be fought with burning and fuel of fire, according to the book of Isaiah chapter 9, verse 5. Right? So nations are preparing for war. They're restarting and increasing old, existing, and new production of weapons of mass destruction, all for the Lord's purpose that he has against Babylon the Great. Wake up the mighty men, and all the men of war draw near. Let them draw near where? Draw near to the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is located in the Arabian Peninsula, so-called Middle East, right? Because that is where the heathen nations will fight the third world's woe, and where our Lord is going to return and destroy them according to biblical prophecy, right? There's a reason why the Lord has been drying up, if it hasn't already, the river Euphrates, because that will happen according to biblical prophecy, according to Revelation, I believe the 16th chapter, so that the way may be prepared for the kings of the east, including Russia, with Ashur, chief prince, head prince, all right? Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal of Gog, all right? Gog and Magog, all right? Gog is, I believe Gog in the Hebrew means mountain or hill, if I'm not mistaken. My memory serves me correct. And Magog means of God. Magog is Russia, which dwells in that region of Gog. Right? Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Take care of financial wealth and use them towards the research, development, and enhancements and modifications of weapons of mass destruction, because these are the weapons of the Lord's indignation. We're in the season of war. Let the weak say, I am strong. Let weak nations like North Korea, Iran, okay, other weaker nations that now possess nuclear capabilities, let them now say that I am strong. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither, come round about where? And gather where? In the valley of decision, the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat in the Hebrew, which is located in the Arabian Peninsula. Thither, cause thy mighty ones, which are the angels, to come down, O Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, where there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Refer to Revelation, Second Ezra, the 13th chapter. You could also refer to Isaiah, 63rd chapter, Revelation 19. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down. You could refer to Revelation, 11? Actually, not 11, 14, the latter end of the chapter, regarding the sickle and the harvest. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fast overflow, for the wickedness is great. Multitude in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, is near in the valley of decision. So, time is coming when the Lord is going to heighten the third world's woe. But before that happens, rather leading up to that, the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast, will be globally mandated, right? Pursuant to biblical prophecy written of in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. So, with that, I'll conclude this lesson. Lord is willing, it has been edifying to the elect, especially to you out there that are newly awoken of the elect. And I'll catch you, brothers and few sisters, Lord is willing, in the next lesson. Shalom.